Hello, this is for BYU Idaho, CIT 261. This is week 14, reflection journal. So this is going to be a combination of what I've learned this semester and how this class has helped me throughout the semester and etc. So to start off, this class is really a basic do-it-yourself type of class. You have the assignments. You do have a teacher. The teacher's willing to help you with whatever you ask them to help with, but a lot of it is you need to learn it on your own. And the first part of the semester is you have these 13 assignments. You have to complete all these 13 assignments with a basic understanding. And a lot of these assignments are very basic. They are stuff that you would see on like W3 school, just very basic things that show you, hey, I know how to do this, and let's move on to the next step. One of the things I really liked about these assignments is going deeper into like API calling and AJAX. This is probably the favorite assignment that I had in this part of the semester. I took a while to find an API that I liked, and I found one for Star Wars. Big Star Wars fan. And all you have to do is select one of these movies, and then the beginning crawl pops up on the screen. And that is all coming from the API. Here's the API website that I've got this from. And it was really fun to go through this and everything. You had to do some dissecting of the API call and everything like that to make sure you had the right variable and everything, so you can present the correct stuff at the right time. And yeah, it was really fun to build this, even though it's very simple and it's just easy, very very easy to do, and it was a lot of fun. So after these 13 assignments, we have a project at the end of the semester. In this semester, we were able to do it in our group. We have a group that meets once a week, and we talk about what we're doing with our the 13 assignments, how we're doing this, and we also are able to bounce ideas off of each other. So it was really helpful to have these groups, and it wasn't like other classes, in the groups you have to do, it's a very stagnant thing that's like, oh, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. Our group was pretty easygoing. We just basically, said what we're doing, showed our code, showed how we're doing it, and, asked anyone, if they had any ideas, suggestions, etc. So it was really good, I think, this semester with the group. So in our group project, we created a music game. So the game will actually show you some lyrics, and then you need to guess what artists sung them. And since we needed a lot of API calls, because we were getting a lot of information from different sources or endpoints, it's from the same API but different endpoints. And these calls need to be done not asynchronous, but synchronous. Asynchronous is traditional JavaScript, where it makes the call, then it comes back to it later once it triggers the event that it's done. But by doing that, we would have issues and errors in other parts of the script because our variables and objects aren't set by the time the other script is being hit. So we needed to get a synchronous call going. And when I tried doing a synchronous call, the browsers did not like that because they were saying that synchronous calls in the main thread were bad and soon to be depreciated. So I started researching about secondary threads, and I found that you can do a secondary thread. You can do a multi-threading in JavaScript, which is something I never knew, and I probably would still not know if I never took this class, because it would never have come up in my day-to-day life. So it was actually pretty interesting to find out that you can do multiple threading in JavaScript, and I was able to research it and find out how it works. And it's pretty straightforward. You just need an external JavaScript file, and once you have that, you can create a web worker, and that's what it's called, web worker. And it creates the secondary thread, and you can pass messages from the main thread to the secondary thread and receive messages from the secondary thread into the main thread. And just like other languages, secondary threads are not able to affect UI. So anything on your web page, any of the DOM or anything like that, the secondary thread cannot affect it whatsoever. And one of the things that I thought was kind of cool, because it did take some time to load everything, and so you're talking about anywhere from 20 to 70 seconds to load everything. So we didn't want the page to just sit there and look like it's dead, and users would just keep refreshing it, and it never finished. So we created a loading bar, and what I did is I just did like some percentages in my API class, and from there I would pass them back into the main thread, and we set this variable, and then the loading bar would take that and just load it as it goes. And it looks really cool. It was a very slick process to create it, and it didn't take much programming at all to get this all done. It did take a fair amount of research, but just like everything, when you are doing research and stuff like that, you have to do a lot of research, and then you finally get it done. And even though you do all the research, sometimes you still don't understand it until you actually put it in place. So, and I guess that's the really point of this class. Even though it's a do-it-yourself, you're on your own class, but you really need to understand how to go out there, use the internet to search, research, use like fellow students or colleagues to ask questions. They might know more information at the subject than you do. So that's really kind of what I took off of this semester, this particular class, is really understanding the fact that you need to understand those things about how to do your research, and take that research and implement it in code. So, and that's pretty much it from what I've learned this semester, and thank you for listening.